Get cool stuff for what you were going to do anyway. Drink beer. With Buy Beer, Get Gear from Labatt, you can just snap a photo of your receipt and upload it to the website to rack up points for exclusive merch. Get points for every purchase, whether you're grabbing a pint on draft, a case for a party, or a tall boy at the stadium. Any size, any product, anywhere you buy Labatt. Buy beer, get gear. Sign up now at rewards.labattusa.com.
You're going to see high-level basketball meets the drama of reality TV.
The Elam ending, everything on the line. For the win. Scores! Mayhaps Army wins it.
Deep three. Farrell drains it.
Here's Buddy.
He got it. And that's your ball game. Mayhaps Army wins the Syracuse Regional.
Steve, what's up?
Congrats on the win.
Thanks, Steve. Where Paulie at?
Here we go.
I'm checking out. I will respond to you, but I'm done for the week. I'm done.
Steve is my favorite part of the show. How's that?
I like that. Thank you. Thank you for saying that.
Check for sound.
Pleasure to be on there talking with Paulie, man. He's a good dude.
I'm an idiot. I'll just shut up and let you talk. I was trying to help.
And shout out to Tupac. 3, 2, 1, and
This is Orange Nation.
well, hello, Paulie and Steve.
With Steve Infanti and Paulie Sibilia.
Good afternoon, everyone. Glad to have you with us alongside Paulie Sibilia. I'm Steve Infanti. It's a Tuesday edition of Orange Nation. We didn't have a show yesterday, so
best Monday ever.
We'll be joined by Mike McAllister on a Tuesday for once. He'll come on with us at 12:30. Plus, we'll mix in your phone calls throughout at 315-437-7644. How was the weekend?
Great.
Long weekend.
Yeah, I got a case of the Mondays. I was here working. Some of us work.
I was working yesterday.
I got a case of the Mondays.
We just didn't do radio
Today, on a Tuesday. Are we going to talk about Boeheim's Army? Is that really what we're going to start with? Like, once they lose, can we just shut up about it and move on? And like, are we going to break down the final possession? Like, how did they not get a three-pointer off? Fire somebody. Yeah, they're all fired now.
Yeah, right.
Till next year.
Disappointing. I mean,
it would have been
They played
fun.
well enough to win. You know, they were leading going into the Elam ending, and I wanted to work with you again. I wanted to do a game with you on August 2nd.
I did not want to work any more than I had to.
But no, I mean, disappointing way for that thing to finish.
Yeah, it was, but okay.
Moving on.
Yeah. There's always next year.
Yeah.
Did you do anything fun over the? How'd you sleep last night?
I did okay.
Do anything fun over the weekend?
Did I do anything fun over the weekend? No, I mean, it was just a basic weekend.
I went and saw Christopher Cross, the Romantics, and Toto. Romantics couldn't understand a word they were saying. Sound was bad. Christopher Cross, 10 out of 10.
Nice.
Perfect show. And then Toto sounded great, but my God, I don't need a 5-minute guitar solo every song. We get it. You can play the guitar.
So you enjoyed it, though, overall?
I laughed in the middle of Toto.
Did you really?
Yes. I was like, oh, my God. Piano solo. If I wanted to watch Jam Band, I would have gone to Fish.
Highlight of my weekend was I played in the golf tournament at Pompey Club to benefit the SU men's soccer program.
How'd that go?
Tim Leonard was unable to play, so he asked if I would sub
what a downgrade.
for him. Well, yes, very much so. They won it last year. We finished third this year, and I got to play with my son. Luke joined us and played with Mario from Channel 9 and a good friend of Tim's, and we had a great time. It was a great day, and Luke won the putting contest, which was fabulous. So he won a $300 gift card to Wegmans.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I'd take that any day.
Yeah.
I remember I bought Jordan a $100 gift card to Wegmans for Christmas one year, and he was ecstatic.
Yeah. I mean, it's practical, and he's going to put it to good use. So, no, that was the highlight of the weekend.
And I'm not poo-pooing the TBT, but, like, really, are we going to crap on former players or guys like the coach or, you know? Like, it was a bad last possession. They played fine against a Kentucky team, you know? They didn't win. let's hope they do it again next year because it is fun while it's going on.
Yeah, no, it is fun. I was a little disappointed with Tyson Walker. I mean, we heard so much about him, and he's the first true point guard they've had on Boeheim's Army in a while. I thought in the 3 games he didn't quite live up to the expectations.
Yeah, don't have him back then, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
we can live without him.
He's a good player. I didn't think he performed all that well.
You sound like a Twitter account right now.
No, I'm saying it nicely. I'm not
what a
crushing
hater.
him. I just didn't think he played all that well.
I'm sure he would have liked to play better. It's $2 billion on the line.
I'm aware.
I don't think he was throwing games.
Well, I didn't say he was throwing games. I said to me, he was a little disappointing because we kept hearing about, this is the
maybe
the
Buddy
great
Boeheim was
addition.
a little disappointing early on too.
Yeah. He didn't shoot it great in the first halves, and he shot it well after halftime, really in all 3 games. But anyway, it's disappointing that it came to an end as quickly as it did, and we don't get a chance to work together again on August 2nd. But
no, and there's next year, and you hope that maybe next year the roster will be there. Maybe the Judaments will play next year. Have a point guard.
Joe Girard, he got married this past weekend. Yeah. He was unavailable.
Boom. Yeah, Wes Johnson might actually show up.
That whole thing is, I still don't understand what that was all about. I get committing to it and then not being able to play, but the fact that every game they were like, well, this might be the night. This is going to be the night. And then over the weekend, it was like, I reached out to, a few members of the people running the team over the weekend about, okay, Devo can't play. You're going to add somebody. Yes, we're going to add somebody. It's Wes Johnson. He's going to be there. He's going to be in uniform, and just no show. 3 games in a row. So I don't know what happened. I don't know if we'll ever get the story.
Why does he hate Syracuse?
It was just odd. Again, I get that he may have had a commitment. Just tell everybody that. Or, you know what? I thought I could play. I can't. But every night he's going to play. No, he didn't. Chris McCullough, same thing. Too bad.
I get the joke in the chat. Gerard went to put the ring on his wife's hand and missed. You get it, Steve?
I do get it.
He missed. He didn't miss a lot. That's a bad take. Bad take. Yeah, if you have I think Wes said yes and then realized that the other league, that 3-on-3 league he's in, was a little perturbed by the fact
and
that
that's fine. Just
say it.
But
right?
why every game? It was no, I'm going to be there. Yeah, he's going to be in uniform. Tonight's the night. Wes is going to be there. And it never happened. So I don't think that's why they lost. I don't know that Wes Johnson would have been the determining factor in that game. But it would have been nice to see him out there, but nice to, and same thing with McCullough. I mean, Kentucky's size did bother Syracuse. It did bother Boeheim's Army, and McCullough's got some size as well. But, they should have won the game. Even as short as that bench was, they were in position to win the game. They should have won the game. And the way that the game flipped going into the fourth quarter and into the Elam ending, they let it slip away.
Michael Antonio blaming the refs in the TBT, Steve. Refs bailed them out. What say you?
I mean, you can't rely on the refs, and it's a road game too. I mean, you can't just assume
the refs.
You can't assume you're going to get the calls. Again, all of that aside, the short bench, the refs, everything, Boeheim's Army should have won. They played better in the second half. They built that lead, and they did not execute down the stretch. And credit Kentucky. They got after Boeheim's Army defensively in that fourth quarter, and they made some shots, and, they obviously pulled it out.
Yeah. No longer will we allow Bridges to coach the team. Fire him immediately, right? Send him on his way.
I don't think it was coaching.
Boo.
I think it was just poor execution down the stretch.
And it was a pickup game.
Yeah.
The effect, it's going to happen. You're going to lose a game, and you can't afford to.
Yeah.
At least this year there wasn't anger. I remember Dante Green just got killed one year by the Twitter folks about his play in the TBT. It's the TBT, guys.
And the fact that
they're not making any money unless they win.
The fact that they've won it now, I think, has made it so people can move on quicker, right? It's okay, they got their championship, and if they win or if they go deep, it's great. But, it's, as you said, they lose, and people move on very quickly from it. It's on to the next thing. NFL training camp starting up this week. Bills report today. That's what I'm thinking about.
We got Bills. I got a Bills story for you in today's business.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. We'll hit that later on. That's a tease for you. And I got a surprise for you, too, Steve.
Really? A good surprise?
Yes, a
pleasant surprise?
Yes, a pleasant surprise, Steve.
Excellent.
They did not execute in crunch time. Yes, they did not. Boo. Terrible. Don't invite any of them back, ever.
Like the way Elijah played, like the way Buddy played at times. He didn't shoot it great the whole time. But Swider was great.
Yeah,
getting
great.
on the glass.
Cool.
I think those three guys in particular.
While they're playing, I'm all in, but as soon as they lose, I'm out.
I can tell.
Checked out.
Okay. Well, let's move on then.
Yeah. We'll talk about Carmelo. He sat down with Mike Waters. He's sitting down with everybody except for us. I saw some of the people that got invited to the SummerSlam, Steve, and I'm not happy.
Invited or they paid?
I don't know if they paid, but there was people doing interviews and stuff. Social media people.
Yeah. I think that's a big difference.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, you might know something I don't. Yeah, there's a guy who's always screaming at me on the TikTok that was there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just keep that in mind.
Okay. Okay.
Don't know if they.
Yeah, because I can't afford it.
Right. Well, right. I mean,
don't you know who I am? I know a few people. I know the head coach. I know, everybody accuses us of being friends with. Okay, I won't put you in this. They accuse me of being friends with people, and I can't even get a damn invite to SummerSlam.
Well, what stood out to you from the interview?
We'll get to that next.
Oh, you want to take a time out?
Okay. 10 minutes after.
Okay.
It's where we normally do it, a little early.
Let's do it. That was our opening drive, brought to you by Burdick BMW of Cicero and Burdick Toyota. We'll get into Mike Waters' interview with Carmelo Anthony next on ESPN Radio.
Catch Sunday Night Baseball every Sunday night at 6:30 on ESPN Radio Syracuse.
Dear summer, rediscover the joy of elevated travel at Burdick Toyota in Cicero, where you can lease a new 26 Toyota Camry Hybrid LE with all.
Good afternoon. I got one more week's vacation, Steve, and I think I'm going to take it the week before the fair. Because Tim's gone, Paul's gone, Gomez is gone.
Mario's gone, so that would be good for me. Because, yeah, I mean,
all right, there we go. Bang. Yeah, Carmelo took my seat, too. Son of a... I get way too much vacation. Probably mid-August. I've been here 16 years. I do get a lot of vacation. For somebody who's terrible at his job, I've had it a long time. I think I have 4 weeks for the year, and I can only take them in the summer because I can't take them during football and basketball season. I don't know what I have. I do know I've only taken 2 weeks, though, guys. But keep that in mind. I've taken 2 weeks vacation, and you're accusing me of taking too much vacation. I can honestly tell you I've never used my full allotment of vacation time in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, I asked last time to take the TBT stuff down. Didn't I not? And the pre-roll. I couldn't afford to take the time off because the team did. Yeah, Tim Leonard laying down the smack. I also might go away that week. I need to get out of here. I've done 2 staycations, and I don't care if I go to Utica. I just got to go somewhere. If I get one more spam call, Steve, I'm going to punch somebody in the crotch. And it might be you. Poof. Dominic, I got to hire somebody. It's on my to-do list. I like to go to Lake Placid once a year. I might do that. I used to go camping, but my dog doesn't like it.
What'd you say?
My dog doesn't like camping, so I don't do it anymore. Artist of the Day special ed just because I want it to be, Steve. Little gift to you.
That's my surprise. I love
Happy
it.
Tuesday.
Thank you.
Ready to Attack, this one's called. Do you know he was only like 16 when he was rapping?
Yeah.
And they took advantage of him?
He talks about that in some of his songs, how young he is.
Yeah, I think his album was called The Youngest in Charge.
Right. That's a good point.
There you go. So special ed is our artist today because we did not vote last time because I was outraged that you are a horrible human when we were doing our starting 5.
Why am I a horrible human?
Because it was just a garbage thing for you to allow to stand.
What are you talking about?
Okay, so I drafted Herman Munster as my center.
Yeah.
And it said, if we allow the fictional abilities of Herman Munster, nobody could beat Paulie's team, right? And it took it off. But you didn't say a word. You didn't say, oh, you know what, we should probably allow that to happen. Because
I didn't make the ruling. I'm not the judge.
Yeah, you are. You are kind of, because so I said at the start, no NBA players. You can't have Mr. Cooper. And you argued that, guess what? It allowed the fictional ability of Mr. Cooper as an NBA player. And you didn't say a word. You just sat there and said,
so when
nothing.
We started this 2 months ago, we said we weren't going to draft people. And you insisted on drafting people after I won 4 in a row. So let this be a lesson to you. Let's not draft people anymore.
The lesson to me is if you were a true sportsman and true sportsmanship, you would have said, you know what? We need to allow the fictional abilities of Herman Munster because we're allowing the fictional abilities of Mr. Cooper.
Fine. You know what we should do is we should take them both off of our team, draft a 5th player. And then
because you argued with me that Mr. Cooper needed to stay, and I allowed it.
I think you're just upset you lost.
No, because
I'm
lost. Happy. I am upset because it said if we allowed Herman Munster to play with his abilities, he'd dominate everybody. He couldn't beat him.
You're not over it. That was 4 days ago.
No, it ate at me all week.
I can tell.
It ate at me all weekend. Ruined my whole weekend.
Man. Okay, well, I don't make the rules. You make the rules, and I'm not the judge. We type it in, and the judge's ruling stands.
No, and you got to type it in.
And I told you word for word what I typed in. You signed off on it.
It was a garbage move.
Okay.
Garbage move.
Let's stop drafting people. And then we won't have this argument ever again.
You need to be a better sportsman and be like, you know what? We need to allow fictional abilities because the guy who plays Mr. Cooper isn't actually an NBA player. So that's a fictional ability. All right. You know who doesn't have fictional abilities, Steve?
Carmelo Anthony.
Yes. Dude's a Hall of Famer. Sat down with Mike Waters. Not us. Mike Waters. doesn't like you. He heard you're not a good sportsman. Your sportsmanship lacks. You just take advantage. You're a cheater, is what I would call you.
I'm not, though. I just played by the rules and I won.
So we had Carmelo Anthony sat down with Syracuse.com's Mike Waters. Great interview. It's up on Syracuse.com right now if you want to check it out. Lots of more stuff than what we're going to share with you. But he was asked about the hiring of Jerry McNamara. And was Jerry on his list? And I can't hit the play button.
Was Jerry your preferred candidate?
Oh, come on. Of course you know that. I wanted him. He was my list. I was up against a lot of people, but I'm glad people came around and understood the vision.
Mike Hopkins' name was floated out there early on. How would you have felt about that?
I would have loved it, but I don't even think they wanted to go down that path because it would have been too hard to tell him no. To pick Jerry was easy. This is somebody who belongs here. This is somebody who went on his journey. He spent time here. He had his experience as a head coach. You get both. You get Mike Hopkins and Boeheim all in one with Jerry.
So the interesting thing about that exchange to me is that pretty much everything that we were saying at the time was true. We had sources that we were kind of working, saying, Hop is very much in the mix in terms of, wants the job. There's, there are a few people with influence that want him to have the job. We kind of heard Melo confirm that in that interview. We didn't play the entire soundbite when he talked about Hopkins, but it sounds like he very much would have had Melo's support. The university didn't want to even interview Hop. And then they moved on. And the other thing is, go ahead.
No, but that is a true point. Like, Jerry would be, you can't say no to Jerry once you interview him. Like, Hop, it would have been, if we find someone better, we're going to not take you. So, yeah, I could see how that.
The other thing is, we talked at the time that there was an inner struggle, right, between inside the family versus outside the family. And Melo alluded to that in the interview as well. That, there were people pushing for outside the family, and some of the names, or two names in particular that we talked a lot about from outside the family at that time. And ultimately, when Jerry and Sienna went out and played Duke as tough as they did, it went from, he's got a shot to now he's the leader in the clubhouse. And, it obviously worked out in his favor, and as Melo said, he's that perfect combination of Boeheim and Hopkins, and he
Jerry, played for both of them,
right? Exactly, and I think they landed on the right fit for this program.
Yeah, that is true, and hopefully it's the right pick. So two people are now accusing you of revisionist history. Steve is saying what we knew, not what he thought.
Right. And I said that at the time, too, if people listened. I mean, you know that I love Jerry, respect Jerry. I said at the time, I think he's going to get the job here at some point. But what we were hearing was that there was a strong push for two names in particular outside the family. And, Jerry kind of made it a no-brainer when they went out and did what they did against Duke. So
yeah, and I don't even know that Jerry, I don't know the whole process, but I don't know that Jerry was the favorite until the very end.
I think that once you saw what they did against Duke, I think he,
I
certainly went up into leader in the clubhouse status.
Well, but I also don't know that he was the first. I don't know if he was the first one they asked.
I think that's fair.
And I think when the Duke thing happened, it made the no more palatable, is the way I look at it. So there you go. That's my take. I heard three names: Jerry's, Shirts, and some other dude. So I don't think Hodgson was ever legitimately ever even considered.
I think he was considered, yeah, for sure.
I don't know that. I mean, I think his name may have been on a list of people. I don't think they ever pursued him.
That doesn't mean conversations didn't take place, though.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. All right. Melo, coaches. He also had an incident that we talked about. And it played out the way exactly what I was thinking he was doing. He tweeted SMFH. Steve, you know what that stands for?
I do.
Or shake your...
Can't say it. Can't say the whole thing.
Bad word head during the North Carolina blowout, which ended up not being a blowout. But he was frustrated, and it was more of as a fan thing.
I was very honest with that. I'm watching that particular game at that moment.
That was the North Carolina game.
And it was a game that I felt like we had an opportunity to win that game. And the turnover in that game was just like, what's going on here? Like, it wasn't even about Kai not playing in the second half. I stand on it. It was a situation where I felt like we needed to make a change, and it wasn't just about Kai. We needed to make a change at that moment in that game. I care about the winning. I care about going out there and competing. But yeah, that's how I felt at that moment about everything that was happening, because I didn't like the way that the season was actually going.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he said it wasn't about Kaya not playing. The timing of the tweet made it seem like that. I think it was just everything, right? They wanted change. It wasn't good enough. Everybody was frustrated, and he had to know that it was going to get a big reaction, and it did. And Mike asked him, would you take it back if you could, or something along those lines? And he said no. He stands by what he said, and listen. He, of all people, can say what he wants. He's earned that right.
He can say what he wants. He can sit where he wants.
Exactly. Right. So, I have no problem with it. It was obviously cryptic at the time, and it was uncomfortable at the time because of everything going on around the program with Red, with his son not playing, with the win-loss record, with the, who are they going to move on to next? It seemed like it was, a done deal that Red was going to be fired. It was uncomfortable at the time, but, he has the right to say and do what he wants when it comes to Syracuse basketball.
All right. Steve, we made it through another segment. It's time to speak with Mike McAllister on a Monday, but it's a Tuesday because we weren't here yesterday.
That's right.
It's a McAllister Tuesday.
He will join us next on ESPN Radio.
How's everybody doing? How was your weekends? You know what I had last night for dinner, Steve? Tacos without taco shells. Like a taco bowl.
How was it?
Good. Made it myself with taco seasoning in a packet. Just basically just sloppy joes, but with taco flavor. Man, that stuff is salty, though. Holy cow. Hey, Steve, have you ever seen your team in a situation where you're like, this is going to hurt us, even though it's going to help us?
Sixers? Is that what you're talking about?
No, the Padres.
Yeah.
They just swept the Marlins, and now they play the Rockies and then the Giants, and they could legitimately win 10 games in a row and be in a good spot going into the trade deadline and then just get their ass kicked the rest of the season.
So you want them to sell?
I want them to be smart. I don't want them to go all in. Like, if they sweep the freaking Rockies and Giants, you can't go all in. Yeah, and I wanted the Padres to get Jason Dominguez, but now that doesn't look like it's going to happen because they need a freaking left fielder now. I had Old El Paso taco meat. Yeah, T-Takes, I have a feeling they're trading Moromon to the Yankees. And I don't think the average Yankee fan knows how good he is, but he would be a closer on 95% of the teams in baseball. I'm not a fan of him being the point guard either. What the hell? If they could get a MLB-ready pitcher or bat for Moromon, I would do it in a second. I got low sodium, and it was still fucking salty.
The meat?
Yeah, the packet of garbage. The Q66 got blocked by our mod for saying the pound of meat. Don't be saying pound of meat. Sixers got 34 primetime games, Steve. Moving the needle like the Buffalo Bills. I don't like my teams moving the needle. I don't want the needle moving. I want it to be low key. I want it to be humble.
The radar?
Yeah, I want them to be humble.
Hard to win
Guys,
in the NBA flying under the radar.
I'm not freaking Gordon Ramsay. I'm not making my own freaking taco seasoning. I ain't got time for that. The hell do I look like? Chef Boyardee Paul? Chef Boyardee's nuts? You're lucky you didn't hear that one. This one's called Action, Steve. Special Ed. I bet you Mike McAllister doesn't even know who the hell Special Ed is.
I don't know. Let's find out. Mike McAllister, do you know who Special Ed is?
No clue.
Nope, sorry. I didn't have you on, Mike. I stink at my job. Do you know who Special Ed is?
Okay. I thought that was when I screwed up in school and they sent me to a special room or something like that.
No. Yeah, he was in 1988-ish. How old were you in 1988? Were you even alive?
I was 5. I was in kindergarten at that point.
Okay, yeah. So you probably weren't breaking out Special Ed.
Probably not. Yeah.
Cassettes.
All right, Mike. Let's before we get into SU hoops and SU football, just your thoughts as we kind of wrap up Boeheim's Army. What are your thoughts on what happened over the weekend?
I still think that they got the reversal of the charge call wrong. I thought that the contact from the Boeheim's Army guard with the push in the back, I thought that was incidental. Didn't think it changed the direction of where the guy was going or put him off balance or anything like that. He was still going to plow into the defender. And I thought it should have stayed as a charge. That said, they had the lead going into the Elam ending. I think they ran out of gas, and at some point, their lack of depth up front, specifically at the center position, caught up with them, and was just a little disappointed that we didn't see Wes Johnson or Chris McCullough or Corey Williams at all. I'm not really sure exactly what the situation was with those guys, but disappointing that they signed up, took a roster spot, and then didn't play in any of the games.
If Ty Nichols' intent was to push to create a charge, because it kind of looked like it was the way he extended his, he's got to be smarter than that. Like, don't extend your arm. I think he gets away with it, but just the way that he extended his arm as he pushed, then you leave it up for interpretation. And as you said, the interpretation went against him, and it's tough. I mean, it's a tough call to get on the road, right? I don't know that you're going to get that call, and they just didn't execute down the stretch. And Boeheim's Army is now watching the rest of this thing at home. Moving forward, any changes, any tweaks you'd like to see in this tournament, or anybody you'd like to see on this roster next year and beyond?
Well, I personally am over the Elam ending. Like, I wish they would just go back to the way that basketball is in college and NBA as far as the end of games, but I don't think that's going to happen. As far as the roster goes, Tyus Battle was someone I wanted to see play. I've kind of wanted to see Jerry come back and play. I know as the head coach, that's not going to happen, but I've wanted to see if that was possible, and I thought it would have been fun if we could have seen Carmelo Anthony suit up for a game. But there's other guys, like I've wondered would Joe Girard come back or something like that. But part of the issue too is when you get into some of the guys that have left recently in this NIL transfer portal era, there aren't guys that are as tied to Syracuse basketball. And frankly, the program's been down a bit, so that are as good as what some of those, past alums that were in this thing and helped get the TBT kicked off. So I think it's just challenging to put together alumni teams with all the transfer portal stuff and everything else, because you just don't have as many guys that fan bases are excited about or loyal to the program and would be good enough to play at that level.
I'm kind of with you on the Elam ending. If the game is close, like if it's like a 2-possession game going into the Elam ending, I want to see him just like play it out regularly. If it's, if one of the teams is down by 8, I kind of like the Elam ending because then it's not foul, foul, foul. It's try to get a stop, score at the other end, try to get a stop and score. But I felt like it did kind of get in the way of a really good game over the weekend. It was a 3-point spread going into the Elam ending. Just I would love to see him play it out from there. I don't know if you can do like a modified, like with under 4 minutes to go. If it's 8 or more, you stick with the Elam ending. If it's close, you keep the clock. I don't know, but I'm with you on that.
Yeah, that would be an interesting way to do it, which depending on the point spread is dependent on whether you play it out or whether it goes to an Elam ending. That would be an interesting tweak that I wonder if they could do. And if they decide to make that tweak, I think they, instead of calling it the Elam ending, since you just invented it, they should call it the Infante ending.
I like it. All right, let's switch gears and talk Cuse basketball now. The current guys, and we're coming off of SummerSlam. I don't know that we've talked to you since SummerSlam happened. How important, I guess, first and foremost, is it to do events like this, something unique, something that gets the fan base energized about what they're going to see this year?
I think anytime you can do something to get fans talking about you and anticipating the upcoming season, especially when you're in a situation like you are this year with a new coach and there's renewed hope and all of those types of things, that lends itself more to an event like that having, some sort of meaning. And you're hopeful that 4, 5, 6 years from now, you're not going to be in a similar situation with a new coach, that things will be going very positively. And if that's the case, do those things mean as much? I still think they do a good job hyping up the season to some extent, but I think this year in particular, an event like that probably carries a little bit more weight.
How about the injury to Garway Dual? We saw that his arm was in a sling that night, and then Boeheim's Army was sitting behind the bench when Paulie and I were doing the game here in Syracuse. We learned from the SU basketball office that it doesn't sound like it's anything serious, that he's out of action for about 3 weeks or so. Shouldn't impact him at all during the year. Are you concerned at all, collarbone for your point guard 2 months out before the season begins?
I mean, I was when I initially saw it, but the explanation that we've received, that made me feel a lot better about the situation. I think we'll be able to tell how much of an issue this is once they really start practicing and going through, training camp and all that type of things. If they're going through that and there's no restrictions on Garway Dual at all, he's out there and, basically as if the injury never happened, I think you're good. But if you get to that point and there's still some sort of restriction as far as what he can't do, taking it a little bit easy, sitting out stretches, things like that, then I'll start to get more concerned. But as it is right now, I'm not really all that worried about it.
Mike, since the last time we talked to you, also a 4-star forward from Florida, Carson Crawford, has put Syracuse in his top 5 with Ole Miss, Arizona State, Providence, and Florida State. What's the word on him? Will he be making a visit to Syracuse? Has he?
He hasn't taken an official to Syracuse, and last I had heard, there hasn't been one scheduled, but I think they're attempting to do that. That's going to be the big key. Is we know that there's already 3 or 4 players that have scheduled official visits to Syracuse, and that's going to tell how this class goes. Is how successful they are with those official visitors. So the big key for him is, he's already got 2 official visits scheduled. I think Arizona State and Providence are the 2, if I have those 2 correctly. The big key is to get him on campus for an official visit. You can be in the top 5, and that's great, but if he visits 3 schools and doesn't visit 2, kind of gives you a hint as to where his mind is. But if you can get him on campus, then you give yourself a shot.
The most recent rankings are out. John Rothstein put his out within the last 24 hours that I saw. He's got Syracuse 43rd in the country, 7th in the ACC. I know the 3-man weave's got Syracuse 47th overall, so both of them inside the top 50. Does this seem about right to you? Are you a little surprised John Rothstein put him in the top 8?
I am surprised that he had them in the top 8 in the ACC, because it seems like most have them somewhere in the 9-10 range. It seems like that's what I've seen most often. So he seems to be a little bit higher on Syracuse than what some other national people are. But I think that's fair going into the year. There are questions on the team. Now, I think they've got the potential to be better than that, to sneak into the top 5 or 6 of the ACC. But if you end up, as the season ends, at 7th place in the ACC, that should put you in a spot where, depending on how things go in the non-conference, you should be in a decent spot as far as making the NCAA tournament. So I think that's fair with what we know right now, but I still think that there's a higher ceiling if things go the right way for this team.
Do you think it's important for the international guys to make an impact right away? Sibby and, Mark Morano, Mamatovic in particular. Do you think those guys need to be good right out of the jump for them?
I don't know if they need to be. I think 3M, Triple M, whatever we're calling them, I think there's probably a little bit more, if you could pick one of the 2 to be really good and make an impact, just because they've got, multiple other centers, and I'm not sure that they really have a guy based on reputation who can shoot the way that 3M can. So maybe if you could pick one of the 2 because of his shooting ability, you'd hope that he's the guy. On the flip side of that, they got a bunch of guys that are like 6'5", 6'6". So where is he going to find some minutes? And if you have concerns about the center position, having a guy who's 7 foot, who's a great shot blocker, and from some of the clips we saw, seemed to be pretty athletic. If he comes in and is good enough to play right away, how much does that help your team? I understand that argument as well, but I don't think they need to be really, really good right away in order for the team to be good. But of course, if you're a Syracuse fan, you're hoping that everybody is really, really good. And then, Jerry's going to have to figure out which of the guys are going to play and how much, and figure out the rotations.
2 more basketball questions for you. Another one just popped in my head as we were talking there. You said Jerry's going to have to figure out the rotations and who's going to play. I think you and I were both under the impression that Cayenne was likely to come off the bench when Jerry first got the job. Now, in hearing Jerry talk about him, I don't know if you saw over the weekend, but the SU men's basketball official Twitter page is putting out videos of Cayenne just shooting, knocking down shot after shot after shot. The more that you think about it, I don't want to put words in your mouth. I'll say this: the more I think about it, the more that I see. I wonder if Cayenne is working his way into the starting lineup. What do you think?
It's possible. I've thought about this too. Like if he does work his way into the starting lineup, then who is not starting? So that would, to me, mean that you either have Tobias in that's not starting, or you have Gavin Doty that's not starting. That's been the biggest thing. Is it's hard for me to envision Gavin Doty, with how well he played last year, his relationship with Jerry and everything else, not starting. But at the same time, given that relationship, if there's someone who could sort of say, yeah, you know what, I'm going to come off the bench and that's fine, and I'm still going to play a bunch of minutes, and everything's all good, given the relationship and that Doty's always wanted to play here and all those types of things, I think he'd be able to handle that. At the same time, they could have a conversation with Tobias and say, look, we got a bunch of players that need to play. You're going to be our primary backup at point guard. So we're going to bring you off the bench, and you're going to be able to play any of the 1 through the 3, and you're still going to play 25-plus minutes a night to showcase yourself for the NBA. So I've kind of gone through some of those scenarios in my head. If I had to guess, I'd still say that Tobias and Doty are starting, but none of those scenarios would completely surprise me.
All right, last basketball question. Sadiq White, John Rothstein's got him among his 5 breakout players in the ACC this year. What would be a good season for him, realistically? What are your expectations for Sadiq this upcoming season?
I think if he has a season where he's averaging double digits offensively, and he's somewhere, like 6+ rebounds a game, and then does some things defensively, like maybe, 1 to 1.5 steals, 1 to 1.5 blocks a game, is efficient, 50+% from the floor, maybe 35+% from 3, even if he's not high volume from the outside. I think situations like that, where that's the type of production he's giving you, because I don't think anyone's expecting him to be like 20 to 25 points a game. But if he's somewhere like 12 to 14 and is efficient, does a lot of those hustle plays that we saw flashes of last year, impacts the game defensively with his long arms and his footwork and all that, I think I would consider that a breakout year for him, because I think that would open up a lot of eyeballs in terms of what his potential could be as he continues to develop.
All right, let's switch gears and talk some football now. Camp getting set to open here in the next week or so. What's your biggest question heading into camp? What are the storylines you're keeping your eye on?
I know we've talked about offensive line a lot in the past, so I'll skip that one for now, even though that is something that I'm watching. But I want to know who the tight end is going to be. Who's going to be the starting tight end? Is it going to be Myers, the Western Kentucky transfer? Is it going to be David Clement, who I know the coaching staff thinks very highly of, but he's got 3 catches in his career and he's going into his senior season? So there's not a lot of production there, at least returning production from Syracuse. Myers had 30-something catches and 3 touchdowns last season, but the guys that are returning to Syracuse, I think collectively they have 1 touchdown and a handful of catches. So there's not a lot of experience there in terms of experience at Syracuse. And it's, without Dan Villari there, it's a huge question to me. And then, of course, the other main storyline is how everyone adjusts to a new defensive system with a new coaching staff, new defensive coordinator, a lot of new pieces, especially up front and rushing the passer. So how does all of that come together? I think the quicker that comes together, obviously the better it will be for Syracuse and will play a large role in how good they are.
Last year we kept talking about the schedule, how difficult it was, and we thought that this year might be a little bit easier, but now that we see it on paper, doesn't look all that easy anymore, right? You got all your tough games at home, you've got the toss-up games on the road. How do you kind of compare what you're seeing in 2026 to the schedule in 2025?
It's different in that you don't have you're playing 5 playoff teams from last year, right? I know there's 1 or 2 or whatever it is, but you don't have that, right? Because when you were going into last year, you had the SMU and you had Notre Dame and Miami, and you had all these teams that were in the playoff the year before. So or right there. And that, I think, is what made it so difficult. And then all of those games were also away from the Dome. You think about opening with Tennessee. At least this year, a lot of those bigger games are at the Dome, which I think will help. But at the same time, if your goal is to get to a bowl game, how you do in those toss-up games, the Boston Colleges, the Pittsburghs, even the NC States and those types of teams, how you do in those games is going to determine whether or not you get there. Because we think you're going to beat, the New Hampshire, your FCS opponent. You should beat UConn. If you take care of business against those teams, then you have to do your job in those toss-up games, whether they're here or whether they're away from them.
Mike, anything else that you're writing about right now that we should be on the lookout for?
The main thing is just gearing up for training camp, and that should be here in the near future, and kind of seeing how all those storylines come together. But, from a football recruiting standpoint, their class of 2027 is pretty well locked up, but there is a decision in the near future here. I think it's Monday. Amari Eliano, who's defensive back coach Perry Eliano, his son is supposed to be announcing his decision. It's his birthday. Syracuse was an official visit that he took, and they're his only Power 4 offer. So I think people are feeling pretty good about Syracuse's chances there, but he is making his decision, and that will be one of the last spots left to fill up for this class.
All right, Mike, as always, we appreciate the time. Thanks for coming on with us on a Tuesday. We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, Mike McAllister joining us here. Does so every week. We'll hit a timeout. We'll check in on the market, and then we'll hit the top of the hour. Back after this on ESPN Radio.
I got to take a leak. How's YouTube doing? Nick, it is awesome this time of year. I usually go up once a year in the summer. Where were we yesterday? Steve had something going on. I don't know what the hell. We have to take all of our time off in a very short window, guys. Because once football gets going, we're out. Yeah, as a matter of fact, LA Orange there was. Went to the concert. Yeah, Toto. I did the concert review already. Toto did too many solos. They sounded great. Christopher Cross was amazing, and the Romantics sounded terrible. Christopher Cross sounds exactly the same as he does on record. You want me to do the morning show on K-Rock for the night? Christopher Cross is also 75. That shook me. Not Chris Cross, you jackass. How dare you blasphemize that a word? Blasphemize? Christopher Cross. We went to a concert together. That was my date.
Who's on the phone?
Bill. No, I don't drink. Not drunk. Come on, let's move it, Steve.
All right.
Special ed.
Let's
artist of the day.
check it on the
Why
market.
Are you interrupting me?
Because we're running late. I don't want to keep Bill waiting. Let's bring on Bill from Lee Baldwin and Company as we check it on the market. Bill, what's going on?
Earnings, and so far today they're producing good results. You got the Dow up over 600 points, so a lot of Dow components are doing well, including today's diamond, which is Coca-Cola, up over 5%. It's best earnings day in 15 years, and they're saying they got a World Cup bump, and so besides Europe drinking our cities dry of alcohol, it looks like they're drinking Coke as well. And then on the downside, we have a local favorite, Corning, which had actually really good earnings, but they did not raise guidance, so people were expecting more, and the stock is lower today. But overall, real good day.
All right, that's what we like to hear. Bill, thanks for coming on.
Yep, thanks.
All the diamonds, none of the dogs. Be sure to visit LeeBaldwin.com, Paulie.
Steve, I can't tell you how good Christopher Cross was.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. It just sounded amazing. Sounded just like this.
Top 5?
You would have loved
Top 5 concert?
No.
No.
But I mean, it was amazing. 75-year-olds. Just banger after banger. He played this song twice. He did it with his band, and then he did a sing-along at his last song.
Is that right?
Yeah.
How long did he play for?
Hour. And it was all like slow, mushy stuff like that. And then this just ripped. Let him cook, Steve. Dude did not move on stage. He's 75, but he just sat there and played his guitar, but he was great.
That's great.
Oh, so good. So good. And he, like, I saw his album cover and I was like, I had that album with a little flamingo on it. If you get a chance to see him, go check out.
He should have been the
Christopher Cross. He should have been the headliner.
He should have been the headliner, it sounds like, yeah.
Toto would just not stop doing solos. We get it. Your piano player can play. Yeah, we get it. Africa. Let's get to Africa. All right?
Did you at least stay for Africa?
No, we left. It was getting brutal. Like, I thought I would hear it as we were walking out, and they still didn't get upset.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Africa. Hold the line, Rosanna. I'm done. Let's go.
That's why they play him last, so you stick around.
They played Rosanna second.
Oh, they did.
It was
Okay.
absolutely banging. And then play your other two hits and shut up. All right? Josh from K-Rock has the best idea for a concert of one-hit wonders where they just walk out. You don't get to tune your instruments or up. One walks out, play your song, get the hell off. Next guy, get the hell off. But yeah, it was fun. It was fun. I had fun.
Okay, good. I'm glad it was,
Next show,
10 out of 10.
I will go to August 15th. Overall, the concert was probably a 4. That's how bad the other two acts were to me.
Brings it down quite a bit.
Yeah, I would say my next show will be the 5th time I see Billy Idol, and I will see Devo for the first time. We will have tickets to that next week, Steve.
Nice. Something to look forward to. Okay.
Rebel Yell.
We are up against the top of the hour, so let's hit a break here. We'll get to hour number 2 next on ESPN Radio.
Great 500 Death Punch concert.
Did we? How was Five Finger Death Punch?
I had to go work it.
You might be working the Billy Idol concert, and you also might be working the Goo Goo Dolls concert.
All right, I can do it. I saw 3 dudes get arrested. One guy smashed his full beer.
There's a good mom joke right there, guy. I 5 finger death punched your mother last night. How's that? Can't no recovery for that.
Can't come back.
Can't come back from that. Gave her the old
back.
5 finger death punch, if you know what I mean, Steve. Your mom likes 5 finger death punch. Well, that was a good one too. Ah, see? People were singing along in the YouTube chat with Christopher Cross. Five finger donkey punch. I saw the Goo Goo Dolls at Club Chameleon. That's how long ago I saw them. When the hell was it? Yeah, I got small little hands, according to Gaper, so the 5 finger Paulie punch isn't very, very frightening. Have you seen Morgan Whalen this summer, Steve? What? Sorry. Fire Paulie. Why are we firing me? Because I made a 5 finger death punch mom joke? Call HR on me. A cartoon character probably couldn't do the 5 finger death punch because they don't have 5 fingers. I think there's only one original member of Toto, by the way. The guitar player that wouldn't stop playing. Are you going to give me the old 5 finger death punch, Steve? Did I goon over the weekend? No. Why does the word goon fucking make me laugh? Like we of all your favorite fingers, which one's your of all the fingers, what's your favorite ring? Index, middle, thumb, pinky. I have not seen the lead singer of Loverboy.
Who's on the phone?
Stefan. Way to ruin it. Spoiler alert. I'm excited to see Devo. Let the bangers begin, Steve.
I'm the magnificent with the sensational style. And I could go.
It's a good way to drive into our second hour.
Yes.
Brought to you by Burdick BMW of Cicero and Burdick Toyota. Stefan and Utica kicking off the second hour.
Stefan's a big special ed fan.
Stefan, what's going on?
Well, hello, Paulie and Steve.
What's up?
Not too much. It's a rainy day out today.
Correct.
Yes. Now, baseball trade deadline is coming up Monday the 3rd of August, and I think the Mets will be sellers. I think Luke Weaver should be on the top of the list to sell, and maybe Clay Holmes. And the Yankees, on the other hand, should be buyers. They could use a Mason Miller or
They ain't getting Mason Miller.
bat to fit in the outfield until their outfielders get back.
Yeah, I don't think they're getting Mason Miller. Just that's my opinion as a Padres fan. But I could see him getting more Ramon. I could see him getting Holmes. Right?
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. The interesting thing, he brought up a couple names with the Mets there. Holmes becomes a free agent after the season. Luke Weaver's under control for one more year.
Peralta will definitely go.
Peralta's definitely going to go. Tyrone Taylor is set to become a free agent. I mean, they've got several guys that have expiring contracts.
Luke Weaver?
Well, Weaver, that's what I was saying. Weaver, they've got under control one more year.
But you could get a better
right. That's what I'm saying. So, and that's where I was going with that is that David Stern said yesterday that he's listening to any and all offers, and it sounds like he would be open to trading Weaver if the price is right. He's basically saying that even though he's under control for a year, he's available. I think there's probably a few guys on the Mets that are off limits. Soto certainly.
I think he's the only one.
Well, you look at that young core though too, with like Benj and Ewing, and I would imagine they want to keep those guys together. Christian Scott, they've got this nice young core that came up through Syracuse and is playing really well right now. That I would imagine they would love to keep those guys together if they can. I mean, look at Zach Thornton last night. Second straight major league win, only his 5th career start. He's 24. They've got some young pitchers and young prospects in the organization right now that they like, but. Yeah, they're going to be very active over the course of the next week.
I am predicting this right now, Steve. The Padres will in some way make a trade with the Mets where Freddie Peralta and Luis Robert end up on the Padres for the remainder of the season.
Okay.
That's my pick.
Book it. Mark it down.
Or they get Holmes and Peralta somehow. They're going to get 2 players out of the Mets. Just my guess.
Yeah, I don't think the Mets are going to look nearly the same at this point next week, right? The trade deadline's next Monday, 6 o'clock. They're going to make a lot of moves. You would anticipate, and the Syracuse Mets, for that matter, might not look the same by this point next week.
Stefan said, "Rainy day today, Steve." When we talk weather on the show, I love to do the weather reports.
Yeah, what do you got?
This afternoon, showers likely, Steve, with a chance of thunderstorms, high in the upper 70s. Southwest winds around 5 miles an hour. Chance of rain, 70%. Tonight, showers, a chance of thunderstorms in the evening, then a chance of showers after midnight. Low in the lower 60s. West winds around 5 miles an hour. Chance of rain near 100%, Steve. That's a pretty good chance. Tomorrow, showers likely in the morning, then showers with a chance of thunderstorms in the afternoon. Excuse me. High in the mid-70s, northwest winds, 5 to 10 miles an hour. Chance of rain 100% for tomorrow.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Since we're talking baseball, why don't we get to our Yankees update here, brought to you by the Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus. Yankees with a 9-5 win last night in Chicago against the White Sox. Game was tied 4-4. Ben Rice, big 2-out hit in the 7th to give New York the lead, and then that kind of opened up the floodgates. They would pull ahead 9-4, hang on to win 9-5. Yankees are starting to play better baseball. They're 6-2 in their last 8. They're 4 of their last 5. 2.5 games back at Tampa right now. And Garrett Cole on the mound tonight in Chicago against Anthony Kay for the White Sox. That's your Yankees update, brought to you by the Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus.
Famous Ben, Steve. Who's the first Ben that comes over?
Franklin.
Oh, mine is Matlock for some reason.
Really?
Yeah, Ben Matlock. I loved that show.
My college roommate's name was Ben. So he's probably number 2 on my list. I've known him for a long time.
Wasn't it like a book about a rat too, Ben?
Not sure what you're referring to there, but
I feel like I had to read a book called Ben. Ben Affleck, Ben Vereen, Ben Rice, Dover. Good one, guys. Funny chat.
Why are you the way you are?
I'm not even going to smirk at that. Ben was Michael Jackson's rat. Wasn't it a book, too? Wasn't there a book about a...
Book about a rat named Ben?
About rat. Ben.
Yeah. You're right.
Thank you.
1972.
Yeah, I remember reading. We had that book in my house, and I read it. I can read, Steve. I'm not stupid.
Okay.
I don't like
It was
you.
a little before my time, but okay.
Ben.
It was a horror and fiction.
Roethlisberger. Good one. Do you think Tarek Skubal will get moved, Steve?
I mean, he's the name everybody wants, right? Where are the Tigers right now? They
Not good.
Yeah, they're 7 games below 500. What is their wild card situation?
Stiller.
I mean, they're only 4 out of the wild card. What do you think?
I think they got to
pull the trigger.
If you're not going to pay for him, you get him
something.
out. Yeah,
right.
you'll get a haul for him.
Yeah. How do you feel about that, though? Like, if you're a Tigers fan, you would hate it. I mean, you're 4 games out of a playoff spot. You know, it's not even August yet.
My favorite team used to do it all the time. You got to do it, though. You got to do it. If you know you're not going to re-sign him, you've got to get something for him.
Are we going to be having this conversation about Skeens as well at some point?
Yeah.
I mean, not this year, obviously, but I'm just saying, like, it's one of those things where he's not staying in Pittsburgh. You wouldn't think.
Yeah, it was abundantly clear when they signed. When they signed their shortstop there, what the hell is his name, to a longer contract?
So let me ask you this: so let's say that it was Skeens, not Skubal, that we're talking about. His contract is up. Pirates right now are tied for the last wild card spot. If the Tigers right now were tied for the last wild card spot,
you would keep them.
You would keep them.
Yeah.
So it's the fact that they're at the moment 4 games out.
Yeah.
That you pull the trigger,
and you might be able to just get 2 MLB ready pitchers for him, and you just throw them in, and you just hope you win. Benny Williams, Steve, E. King, and the Jets.
You're still doing this.
Yeah.
I thought we had changed the subject. I thought we had moved on.
It never ends.
Yeah.
Who do you hope that that your favorite team gets the Yankees? And if you say Mason Miller, I'll slug you right in the face.
I mean, if
that happens, I am going to be so disappointed.
I mean, that would be ideal. Cody Bellinger's out now, 4 to 6 weeks. You've got Judge out, Stanton's out. I mean, I think you got to add a bat, at this point. And their bullpen's been good, and I think their rotation is good enough, especially when you look at the American League. Like the American League, there's no one team I think that truly scares you. I'm most worried about the Yankee lineup right now.
Would you take Mason Miller and one Xander Bogaerts contract on?
What are the details of Bogart's contract?
A lot of money for a lot of years.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
For a
it's
shell
one of the
himself.
worst. Yeah, it's one of the worst contracts in baseball.
It's that age-old question, right? Is it worth it if you win? If you win a World Series, is it worth it? And I think most fans would say yes.
Is Mason Miller enough to win you a World Series?
I don't know. That's again, I'm more concerned about the offense right now than I am about the pitching. And I think all year we were just, at least I was, under the impression of once they get healthy, they'll be fine. But here it is, late July, and they keep pushing the timetable back for Judge. They keep pushing the timetable back for Stanton. Now Bellinger's hurt. At what point do you say, okay, well, I don't know how much we're going to be able to rely on these guys moving forward. I think that, to me, again, that's the biggest concern.
E. Hanna, Steve. E. King. Her. Wild Rice.
Her?
Ben Hur.
Oh, okay.
Folds 5. Famous Benz. Kenobi is a good one.
That is a good one.
That's a name I haven't heard in a long time. All right, let's take a time out.
Let's do it.
Come back. We'll do
phone lines open if you want to check
today's
in.
business.
315-437-7644.
I have a question for you about the Bills in today's business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll get to that. I've got an item for today's business. I don't know if it's on Tim's docket or not, but
Look at us.
we'll talk about it next.
Who needs Tim?
On ESPN Radio.
Schwartzwalder. Did I say that? Ryan, are you new here? Ryan Mount says, as Steve's talking, Paul just interrupts saying Ben's name. I do that all the time. Agbayani.
G.
Gill. Ben G. Gill.
I was just going Benji the dog. Gay. Ben Gay.
That's inappropriate, see? But there.
Ben there.
Done that. Vereen.
Ben.
Del Toro.
It's been fun.
It's been 1 week.
It's been real.
I'm getting a little phlegmy. I'm not sick. Just allergies. Agbayani's a good one. Wallace. We haven't said Wallace. This is a sports show. You want to know who the most famous Ben is?
It's got to be Franklin. Big Ben, the clock.
According to Ranker, the most famous Ben is Franklin.
Yeah. I got it right.
I'll do top 10 Bens when we come back. Wow. I don't know some of these people. Paul's going to be doing Bens when you come in. You think Eric Devendorf will go to Devo with me if I ask him when I can bring Devo to Devo? Not a chance. I'll ask him, see what he says. We can get good parking with his bad knee and what? Oh, you'll find out. Have you seen? Huevos Bencheros. You got time to do whatever you want. I'm going to do the top 10 Bens when we come back, so if you want to walk in and...
It says a lot about...
I just hit myself in the Adam's apple with a microphone.
I nailed my funny bone earlier. It says a lot about your personality. Steve went Ben Franklin. You went Ben Matt. Who was that?
Matlock.
I never even heard of that. A fictional person?
Yeah, he said a fictional lawyer. He had a TV show, Andy Griffith. Yes, it's something my grandparents would have watched.
Paul and I out there were like, who?
How do you not know who Ben Matlock is? He's never lost a case, for God's sakes. What an outrage. What a disgrace. You learn your history. Are you enjoying special ed? The Mission. Steve thinks this should be our theme song.
Well, you said it should be our theme song, and then I listened to it that night, and I was like, you know what? That's a good pick.
Are you enjoying special ed, Tim Leonard?
Yeah, I am. I was going to tell you, I don't really know them that well, and I think all these have been pretty good bump songs, actually. I really enjoyed the last one. That was a good song. Occasionally, you have a nice new artist that you're introducing me to.
Yes, Steve and I, big fans. By the way, we were talking just famous Bens last segment, just the most important thing in America right now.
Yep.
Top 10 Bens. Ben Franklin, this is according to Ranker. Ben Stiller coming in at number 2. Ben Affleck. Shapiro, 4. Ben Kingsley at 5. Ben Foster.
Who is Ben Foster?
I don't know. The fact that you didn't know who Ben Matlock is an outrage. Ben Gordon.
Okay.
Ben Shepard is number 8. He's from Soundgarden. And Ben Roethlisberger at 9. And Ben Macklemore at 10. There you go. Top 10 Bens. The fact that Matlock is not on there is an outrage.
I just think it said a lot about your personalities that Steve thought of the obvious Ben Franklin and you thought of a fictional lawyer.
Ben Matlock
from 100 years ago.
It was the
I never heard of.
Shut up with 100 years ago. It was in the 80s, dude.
I know. All right. Tim is here for today's business. Tim, what do you got for us?
Well, today's business is always brought to you by Superior Plus Propane. Before we get into the sports news, I meant to ask you, Steve, you hit on it earlier, but it sounds like the golf tournament went well.
It was great. We had a lot of fun. Did you not talk to Kevin about it?
I talked to Kevin and Mario, and I wanted to ask you because Mario was talking a huge game about his putting. He was rolling in everything.
He putted great. So he was third in our lineup. So Luke went first, I went second, he went third. And he putted great. And I jokingly said to him, you know, we should go and, putt ahead of him every time, like when he's playing on the weekends. We should just me and Luke should be there, and we should putt, show him the line, and then he's gonna knock it in every time. No, we had a great time. It was awesome. It was fun, and we finished third, and we missed having you there, but no, it was a great day, and like I said, Luke won the putting contest, so it was a good day all around.
Tronic brings up a good point in our chat. 99 out of 100 people who know who Matlock is don't know his first name is Ben.
That's probably true. So it was like a flex that you knew his first name? Is that why you brought it up?
It's not the flex I thought it was.
Oh, okay.
Can you say that about yourself?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
I wasn't trying to flex.
What
it was just the
show? Can I get more context?
Matlock. He was an attorney.
It was just called Matlock.
Okay.
And he was a defense attorney, and he would take on cases that seemed impossible, and he never lost.
Yeah.
He always found the person innocent.
Yeah.
It's a great show. Great show. That and Murder, She Wrote. Angela Lansbury.
Yeah. She never lost either.
Yeah. She found out who. We need to sit down and have a Matlock watch party with you.
No, we don't. We don't, Tim. You're not missing anything.
Would you like to? He always ate hot dogs, too. It was his favorite food.
Fun facts about Matlock.
Yes.
Can we get back to sports?
I did want to shout out on the note of golf tournaments, trying to reel us back in here. You mentioned I didn't play in the soccer scramble. I was playing with Matt Park and the Calvary member guest, and do want to give a shout out to a friend of mine, Mike DeBlois. Yeah, well, Mike DeBlois won the championship flight. He is a huge fan of you guys and the show, and he's, I'm sure, listening right now. He made a 4.5-foot slider downhill to win by a half point.
Who cares about that,
Shout
dude?
out to him. Good athleticism.
Good job, Mike.
Yeah, Mike. Interrupt my Matlock breakdown with your dumb golf take.
Thank you for interrupting that.
Thank you for winning.
How'd you guys do?
Thank you for winning.
Yeah, we were all right. We finished in 4th place in the flight.
That's good.
Yeah. It was, we were hoping that we'd finish in 3rd. In the last match, we kind of ran out of gas, I'd say. We leaked a little oil coming in.
Yeah.
But we had a great time. It was really fun. All right, so the Ohio State jersey patch thing came out this morning. They are signing a deal with J.P. Morgan Chase to have a logo, J.P. Morgan Chase logo patch on every one of their team's jerseys. This is, I think, becoming more and more of a thing. I think we're getting to the point where every school is going to have a logo jersey patch for NIL and revenue purposes. Ohio State's deal is in the neighborhood of $17 million a year. Obviously, Syracuse is not going to net that much, but this goes to show you the levels in college sports here. I mean, that's almost their entire rev share budget just from J.P. Morgan Chase in a year.
Yeah, and I think you're going to see, as you said, it's going to be a trend now. They're the first ones to do it, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw it trickle into the ACC, and if everybody in the ACC starts doing it. It is one way to. It's interesting because it's one way to earn some extra money, but it's also in some ways an avenue for the schools like in Ohio State to widen the gap, right? Because to your point, Syracuse isn't getting $17 million for some for a logo on their jersey. So the bigger brands, the Notre Dames, the Ohio States of the world, Duke basketball, they can. That is one way where the gap can widen even further, I think. But, yeah, if you're not doing something like that in the next year or two, you're probably falling behind.
Yes. Do you guys have any guesses at what the sponsor will be for Syracuse?
I mean, the first one that popped into my head was Micron. I think it makes a lot of sense for a lot of reasons, and especially if you're talking that kind of money. Wegmans certainly came to my mind as well. I think those are the two that...
But you also got to have a logo that is conducive to being... that's recognizable and small.
Yeah, Wegmans is kind of a long logo.
Yeah, it might be difficult.
Do they have just a W logo?
Every MLB team's got them, right? Like Motorola and Qualcomm and all that stuff.
$17 million a year I guess J.P. Morgan Chase has done the numbers and they know what they're doing.
Like that. I mean, that could easily be a logo. I mean,
it could.
It just says Wegmans in script. I mean, just
it'd be tough to see. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I mean, it's a 7-letter word. It just kind of Wegmans in script. I don't know. I think it's certainly possible. Let me look at what Micron's logo is. Micron, same thing. It's just their name with a little
Well, everybody's getting creative. Duke's doing that Amazon thing with their game.
I think that fell apart, right?
Just one of the games. Okay. They just replaced the opponent and moved it to a different arena.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So, it's now Texas Tech instead of Michigan.
Speaking of jerseys, Paulie, you wanted to hit Steve on another jersey topic.
The Bills have released their alternate jersey. Yeah, I don't mind the jersey itself being gray. The helmet's brutal.
Yeah.
It doesn't even have the buffalo on it.
Yeah.
It's got to have the buffalo on it.
So I'm not a fan of it. I think, Jeff asked me last night in the news because we showed the uniforms as kind of like our kicker, and then he was like, what do you think of them? As a fan, I never really get into uniforms too much. I don't care what they wear as long as they win. They're probably going to wear it one time, and I don't care. I think that's for the younger generation.
Yeah, I don't care either. But
kids tend to like the new uniforms, and it's another opportunity to go into a store and buy the alternate unis. As a fan, I just want them to win.
The uni is fine with me. You can't change the helmet so much that it's not got the logo.
Well,
on
you see it I think Oregon is a good example where they've taken some liberties with their alternate jerseys and with their helmets. Memphis is another one that's taken liberties with their helmet. I don't know. I mean, you're not supposed to change the colors, and they didn't really. I guess. I mean, they accentuated the royal blue on the helmet. The jerseys are all gray. In case you haven't seen them, for those listening, the jerseys and pants are all gray.
And they've got a blue collar because it's a blue collar city. I like the whole idea of the gray and the blue. I just don't like the helmet.
The helmet is it's a little bit obnoxious.
It's a very bright blue with just a red
royal blue. Yeah, right
across it. Yeah.
You're
getting the best of both worlds. It's a Duke blue with Buffalo's color red on it.
Just needs Vermont green in there somewhere.
It'd be triple play.
Guys are brutal.
Getting the all double team from us today, Steve.
Jim Root of the three-man weave. My whole job is just to get us back on track in this segment after crazy comments from Paulie.
It's not easy.
Jim Root of the three-man weave, basket under review. We've had him on the show before. He dropped a ranking. He and the other guys of the three-man weave were doing their ACC coaches rankings for basketball. Very challenging, I would say, to rank the 18 men's basketball coaches in the ACC right now. I put the list in front of you guys. He had John Shire at number 1 of Duke. To just spoil the important part, he has Jerry McNamara 15th. Going into his first year in the ACC, behind GMAC is Steve Forbes of Wake Forest, Justin Gainey of NC State, going into his first year as a head coach out of the Rick Barnes coaching tree at Tennessee. He is 17th, and Jeff Capel, who is firmly on the hot seat, is dead last in these ACC men's basketball coaching rankings. Jeff Capel of Pittsburgh at 18. John Shire 1, Ryan Odom 2, Brad Brownell 3, Kyle Smith of Stanford at 4, who continuously exceeds expectations, and Jay Lucas, a relatively new coach going into his second year at Miami, is 5th. It just seems like it's a jumbled mess in the middle. He kind of hit on that in the podcast I was listening to. Hard to really rank this. Does anything stand out about his ACC coaching rankings?
Let me ask you. I know recruiting is part of the process, but Duke recruits itself, right? If you had put any of these other coaches at Duke, would they be any worse than Shire?
I think Shire's tough. I mean, he's done objectively a really nice job, but he's also had 2 terrible chokes and end-of-game situations that's on coaching.
You know, so you ask what stands out. What stands out to me is that there's just so much turnover in this conference right now. Like, I just pulled up top head coaches from 2022, 2023 from the ACC, and it's Tony Bennett, Jim Boeheim, Jim Larinaga. Jeff Capel was 4th on the list coming off of ACC Coach of the Year honors. And just to see the way that this conference has changed so much in just that short period of time. I mean, that's 4 years, but even, go back 6-7 years.
6-7.
Well, 6-7. And, all the coaches that have, all the changeover in a handful of years.
Yeah.
It's remarkable that, Brad Brownell, I think we all look at him, he's very well respected. He's 3rd in these rankings. You go back 5 years and he's middle of the pack to, the
10
bottom
years ago, hot seat every year.
Yeah, right.
It's amazing.
Exactly.
He's the longest tenured coach, and it's amazing that he is the one still standing, if you would have asked me in 2015, 2016. Yeah, Andy Enfield in the middle, which it seems like his teams are always right on the bubble, right in the middle.
Steve Forbes has been credited with being a better coach than his record has shown, just because he's at
just
Wake
a tough
Forest.
place to win.
Yeah.
They're very high, or Jim Root is very high on Scott Cross. He has him 8th, the new Georgia Tech head coach. And then Luke Murray is 9th at BC. I don't know. Luke Murray's never been a head coach, so I think that's a little crazy to put him 9. Scott Cross has been a head coach at lower levels, and he's done a very nice job. So I think he's giving him credit for that.
I'd love to know what Micah Shrewsbury has done that has him 10th on this list, for instance.
I agree.
I would
not a big fan.
If I had to do my order of the top 3, I'd probably go Odom, Brownell, Shire in that order.
Yeah, I think Kyle Smith being 4th is totally fine. I don't think he gets enough credit because he's at a tough place to win. Pat Kelsey in Louisville, he has him 6th. The Louisville fan base seems pretty fed up with him. If he has another year, I mean, they obviously spent big money. They brought in 2 guys that were worth about $9.5–10 million. It sounds like just those 2 from the transfer portal. If he does not make the Final Four, Elite 8, I think the Louisville fan base is going to be quite upset.
If I had to pick one guy on this list I think is going to make a big jump, it's going to be Laux from Florida State.
I thought he could have been in the top 10 already based on last year.
And I think honestly, Jerry's got a chance to make a big jump in these rankings too. I mean, you look at John Rothstein's got SU 7th in the conference. He's 15th on this list. So, if Jerry has a good year, gets his team to the tournament, he's going to shoot up these rankings.
And there's nothing more important than shooting up these rankings.
No, I mean, it's just something to talk about.
I know, I was just giving you guff. And you and your 6'7", throwing us off track.
Got a kicker for us, Paulie?
Oh, I do, Steve and Tim. Do I ever? Do you know how they say that the McDonald's ice cream machine is always broken? You ever heard that story before? Of course you haven't. Have you, Tim?
Not really, no. I mean,
tell us about it.
It's not surprising, but
tell us.
There's this like story that every time you go to McDonald's, the ice cream machine's not working.
Okay,
it's a trend throughout America.
Okay,
I can't believe neither one of you have heard that. Well, according to ActionNetwork.com, they dug into it. And they say nationally, McDonald's ice cream machines will be reported down 10% of the time. So that's pretty high.
That is high.
Cleveland, Tennessee is the broken machine capital of America with 46.9% of the time. So it's basically a coin flip of whether or not the ice cream's going to be working there.
Take it off the menu at that point.
And Minnesota and Wisconsin have the best statewide odds of a working ice cream machine at 11.5 and 12.7%.
That's still high to me.
Yeah. I thought 10% was the average, so.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just going by it.
Math ain't math in there.
Cleveland, Tennessee is the worst. Albany, Georgia, second worst at 42% of the time. Gulfport, Mississippi, 39%. New York, if you're in New York and you want to get an ice cream, 77% of the time you've got a chance that the ice cream machine will be working. 22% chance it'll be down.
The math isn't mathing there either.
I don't know what they did, but that's what you get.
Interesting.
Broken line. I don't know what the hell that means.
So you don't have Syracuse data. You just have state of New York.
That's 16 of... that's New York is...
Well, we should go, the three of us and like Paul, we should all go to separate McDonald's after the show today and see if
the
odds tell us one of them is going to be broken, right? One of them is going to be down.
I guess, yeah. Well, 25% chance, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So if four of us go, one of us is going to run into an issue where we can't get it.
Yeah. They have a betting odds calculator of whether or not your ice cream machine will be working also.
The Action Network is a sports gambling site, so that's kind of...
Yeah, so
they're looking for stuff to do.
They broke it down so you could bet on whether or not your ice cream machine will be working. I can't believe you guys have never heard that before. Is that like Ben Matlock? Nobody knows about the ice cream machine?
I don't know. Like, you know that I don't go to McDonald's very often, if ever, so...
You know I'm not fun. You could just change your words.
There you go. Sure, if that's what you want to say.
You know I hate things that taste good and are bad for me.
What's your favorite ice cream fast food? You probably don't do it much when you're driving, right? Like Wendy's Frosty.
I like the Frosty. I'll do the fries in the Frosty.
Oh, yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah. I mean, I like it.
Have you ever heard of that, Steve?
I like a milkshake and fries from McDonald's.
Oh, yeah.
It's not very good for you, so.
Well,
it's not.
Paulie just rolled his eyes in slow motion.
You can't go through life like that, Steve.
Okay.
It's not going to get you.
Let's take a time out here.
How many people have died and the thing they said was, oh, yeah, he once had a shake and a Big Mac.
Well, once in a while, it's not going to hurt you. It's okay. Phone lines open, 315-437-7644. We are back after this on ESPN Radio.
Like, I'm eating healthy right now, and the other day I just threw a frozen pizza in the oven, and I ate the whole goddamn thing. Because sometimes you got to let loose, Steve. I drink Diet Pepsi like it's going out of style, and if it knocks me off this rock quicker, God bless it.
Notre Dame SoFi is their jersey patch, 18 to 20 mil annually. It's a good logo, I guess.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think Wegmans would. I guess it depends how big the patch is. Make it big enough to show.
Wegmans just feels similar script writing to Syracuse, but that's fine.
Yeah, I try to do that too. I don't go crazy though. Like one day out of the week, I'll allow myself to have something decent. I went out and bought a box of popsicles this weekend and ate them all, Steve. Sugar-free.
On a stick?
That's what popsicles are, Steve. On a stick. Not a push-up pop, not an otter pop. But you won't eat those either. God, you're the worst. Oh, imagine Steve being at your birthday party as a kid. What a disaster.
You enjoy.
You have to cater to stupid Steve. That's what I would call you.
No, you don't have to cater.
Stupid Steve. Hey, it's popsicle time. I can't have that.
I wouldn't tell. I just
You'd
wouldn't
be
have
fine.
One. I would just say, no, I'm all set, thank you.
Can I have a piece of cake, but you take the frosting? Oh, stupid Steve's here again.
At any cookout, I feel like you're fine. You like
time
burgers,
for hamburger.
dogs.
Can you put mine?
Right?
Just give me the bun.
Do you like hot dogs, burgers, like at a cookout? Yeah.
I mean, I don't love hot dogs, but I mean,
I can't have a hot dog.
No, I only eat a hot dog. I just don't love hot dogs.
Prefer sausage on a roll?
Yeah.
I get triggered when people double dip.
Good cheeseburger.
Yeah.
Steve brings his own bun. That's funny to me.
Pulls it out of his desk, right?
He had a loaf of bread the other day.
From the last week.
I almost stepped on it.
That would have been tragic.
Oh, if someone double dips near me, I'll blast them. That's why I don't like buffets either, because I see people touch stuff with their hands. Will you do sausage, peppers, and onions?
Oh, I meant to bring up. You guys didn't see
that's a hard.
I like sausage. I don't like peppers or onions.
You guys didn't see this Gaelic football story this weekend. So the All-Ireland final, the County Mayo won for the first time in 75 years.
Steve doesn't like him. His name's Mayo.
Yeah, that's true. It's the county. They won in 1951, and they were like partying on the bus ride back to their county, like celebrating. And there was a funeral like procession going on. They didn't give way. Oh, no. And apparently a priest at the funeral, this is like the tall tale, said, "You're cursed. You'll never win again until all of you are dead." And the last member from that team died last year, and then they won this year, 75 years later.
That's crazy.
Is that true that your mom or someone cut your steaks for you? Does your wife cut your steaks for you, Steve?
It's only Tuesday. It's the first show of the week.
Takes the crust off. Takes the crust off.
You guys see the brawl in TBT? I was going to bring that up too.
No.
There's a little bit of a fight after.
Was it the
Wichita, Kansas? What was the other game?
Yeah. New Mexico? Was it
maybe. Frank Mason at the game winner, so I think he's Kansas.
No, it was Kansas against Wichita State.
Yeah. There was some punches thrown at the end of the game. After Frank Mason at the game winner, there were like people on the court, and one girl got hit.
Jeez.
Not good.
I'm surprised it doesn't get more testy, man. They play for $2 million.
Yeah.
I got it made, Steve. I'm really happy with my selection. I did good.
Yeah.
Special Ed, you happy with
I
this?
endorse it.
I'm sorry I was making fun of you during the
I
break
don't
about
care.
your,
I'm used to it. I don't
about
care.
your food choices. I apologize. I went too far.
I was pretty sure that we were going to come in here and you were going to make fun of the way that I boxed all my cards when I was a kid.
I was not going to touch it, but now that you brought it up, Steve.
Did you see his cards?
I sent him a picture. I didn't even realize this. I came across my sister has been cleaning out my dad's basement. We came across a ton of cards. I mentioned this on the show last week.
And Steve is coming to the harsh reality that a lot of people have come to when asking me about what their cards are worth, and it's absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
He does have a couple good ones, but other than that, not much. But Steve, as a kid, put all of his cards in a box and then had dividers by team.
I labeled them by team.
Nobody did that.
Yeah.
Actually, my 7-year-old nephew is basically doing the same thing, except it's in a binder. Like every page of the binder is a team.
That's different than creating dividers.
I had like stickers and like separators and labeled them.
I don't think that's that weird, Paulie. I didn't do it.
I appreciate that, Tim. Thank you.
I may have done something like that if I was serious into cards.
It shows it's the type of behavior that you grow up to become Stephen Fonte.
I mean,
that's how I word it.
I know what you're saying.
It's a little like OCD.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Oh, yeah, you grow up to be Stephen Fonte if you do that.
All right, we're going to do a Top 5 Tuesday, which I used to do on my show, which will be coming back State Fair time. But top 5 players on the Syracuse football team. We're going to rank them right now. I don't know if you guys even have given this much thought, but we're doing it. Top 5 players on the SU football team going into this year. I personally think that there are pretty clear top 5 players on the team. I think it's just a matter of how do we rank them. I think Steve Angeli has to be on this list in some way, shape, or form. I think the 2 defensive backs that are returning, Chris Peel and Demetrius Samuel. Chris Peel definitely, I think, needs to be on the list. He's got the most NFL upside. Demetrius Samuel was obviously great last year as a freshman, and I think he's one of the more talented players on the team. Then I think the 2 linebackers, and we've done these position previews, defensive back, linebacker, you feel really strongly about those position groups just based on what you're kind of returning. Chris D'Apollonia is a newcomer to Syracuse, but not new to Vince Karras and that defense. But Antoine Delorier and Chris D'Apollonia have each gotten preseason All-ACC accolades. I don't think anyone has received any preseason awards besides those 5 guys I just named. Angeli, Peel, Delorier, D'Apollonia, and Samuel. I think that has to be the top 5, but I'm open to hearing other names.
Is Calvin Russell, even though he's hurt, not eligible? Would he make the list?
I tend to agree with Tim that I think these are the 5. If Russell were healthy, I would say that would be open for discussion, but we don't even know when we're going to see him.
Okay.
I know Fran has said that it'll be at some point this year, but I'm with Tim. I think those are the 5, and it's just what order do you put them in. I would lean toward putting Chris Peel number 1 because, as you said, I think from an NFL upside perspective, he's the guy that I think most believe has the best chance of ending up playing on Sundays. And so if we're strictly going by best player, not necessarily biggest impact on the team, because, again, generally your quarterback's going to have the biggest impact on the team. But if you're talking about truly the best player at his position, it's probably Chris Peel. Who's getting some, All-American nods and, second-team All-ACC from Phil Steele. And, so if you're among the 2, 3, 4 best in your conference and you're among the, top 6 to 8 in the country and you're considered an NFL draft pick, then I'm going to give you the nod. And I think that, while Angeli's really good and I think he's going to have a good year, I tend to put Chris Peel number 1 in this ranking.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Are we concerned that there's not like a real running back or an offensive lineman that you could consider?
Well, I was going to say that EA Sports, of course, came out with the video game, and they ranked every player on the Syracuse team. Chris Peel has a 90 overall ranking. He's number 1. Demetrius Samuel, 87 overall ranking, is number 2. I think Demetrius Samuel is helped by you can play him 2 ways, and that's kind of appealing from a video game perspective. Then there's a bit of a drop-off. Ahmad Miller, the running back, 82 overall ranking, is actually 3rd on the team. Cole Weaver, Steve Angeli, check-in tied for 4th at an 81 ranking. Then it kind of gets into some other guys that I wouldn't have really considered. Antoine Delorier is an 80 ranking on this list. I guess Calvin Russell wasn't in the initial batch. Now it seems like he is going to be a part of the video game. He's signed on, so you can play with him if you're interested in that. I think the concern for me is there's one offensive player, and then like Paulie's saying, I don't know really who the second best offensive player is on the Syracuse team right now. And obviously someone's going to blossom, and we're going to get some answers there. But
and I would say, and I agree with you, I would say maybe that's a good thing in that you've got, and we've talked about this a lot over the summer, right? That you've got 10 receivers. It's a deep room. Who's going to step up in that room? But you've got a lot of options. So I hear what you're saying, and yes, you could look at it as a concern. You could also look at it as, all right, it's a talented room. Nobody has separated themselves yet to us because we haven't seen them on the field yet. You would imagine that at practice and as preseason practice starts up, guys will start to separate themselves and who's running with the ones, who's with the twos, so on and so forth. So I think in a way, the fact that we don't know that separation yet, I do think it makes them difficult to scout for, which can help early in the season against a team like Cal. And, Paulie and I have talked quite a bit about how we feel like that could be the swing game of the season. It's game number 2, right? So that Cal Pitt back-to-back, if you're difficult to prepare for at that point and guys haven't emerged yet, that might, be a secret weapon, so to speak, that they have an opportunity to surprise you with the way a few guys play.
So I think we're all in agreement, put Chris Peel number 1. I would say if Chris Peel was an offensive player getting this list of accolades, then it'd be like a no-brainer to put him number 1.
Yeah.
Like he's basically, I think of Aronde Gadsden went into his final year before he was taken in the NFL draft with similar type of projections, All-American nominations. Chris Peel's the first guy to be mentioned on a preseason All-American team from Phil Steele since OG in 2023. So him number 1. Who do you guys want to put number 2? Steve Angeli?
I think it's probably Angeli 2.
Yes.
I would probably put Demetrius Samuel 3. And I've heard really good things from Chris D'Apollonia. I've heard really good things about him. We saw him in the spring game. He made a big play in the spring game. I tend to, just because we saw Antoine Delorier last year, I think I'll maybe give the nod to Delorier, but D'Apollonia, played for Vince Karras, and so he's got that going for him as well. So I think 4 and 5 are kind of interchangeable, but I would say Peel, Angeli, Samuel would be the top 3 for me.
Okay, Samuel number 3. We'll say Delorier 4 and D'Apollonia 5. You good with that?
Yeah. Print it.
All right.
Tweet that out. Let social
Maybe
media get after that. You can check us out on Twitter at qsportstalk.com. All right, guys. Normally at this time, we vote on the artist of the day.
Well, we have to. Are we going to double up?
Yeah, we're going to double up because it's that time. We are not going to vote today.
Really?
Yes, it's a big day in American music history. I don't know if you guys know this, but tomorrow, July 29th, you ready for this, Steve? Paul Davis.
Oh, tomorrow's the day.
Known for his hits like I Go Crazy and Cool Night, was shot in the stomach during an attempted robbery at a Nashville hotel. He eventually recovered, only to die later in life. Which happens to everybody.
Yes.
So tomorrow, we celebrate Old Iron Gut. Paul Davis, who was shot in the stomach and survived it. Do you know that was his nickname, Steve? His picture hangs proudly behind us.
It does.
In this
I
studio.
never knew that. I've listened to that song for 45 years of my life, and I never knew that that's what he looked like until we posted his picture.
How could a woman say no to Paul Davis?
All right.
The great Paul Davis.
Back to back, we go special ed and then Paul Davis.
Yeah.
This week is off to a great start.
No matter how much I make fun of you.
Is it Steve's half birthday or something?
Man, if you had a loaf of bread to gnaw on, you'd be a pig and whatever they're in.
Yeah. Yeah.
We got Coach Jack on the show tomorrow. You think she'll be a fan of Paul Davis?
Probably not. Probably
Everybody's
not. It's an acquired taste.
If she's not, we'll have to
We'll make her a fan. Yes. Yes, we will.
How dare her.
I think he can coax her into it.
Are you going to play us out with the last song? Because we didn't get to all the songs.
Oh, my God. You are correct.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I almost forgot one special ed song, Steve.
So we're doubling up the final break here.
Think about it.
There we go. Little Eric B. and Rakim playing in the background.
Think about it. Think about it. Think about it.
All right, we got to go. Coach Jack tomorrow, Paul Davis Day. It's going to be a good Wednesday here on the show. For Paulie, for Tim, I'm Steve. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you again noon tomorrow.
Think about it. Think about it. Think about it. Think about it. Think about it.
Why would I think that